Here I am. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Welcome. Welcome, one and all. 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, 9, 10. Whoa, everyone's coming in. Everyone's coming into the room. It's me, your Judge John Hodgman. And I am joining you now for our daily 4 p.m. Eastern live stream in honor of the wonderful Max Fun Drive. Media assets, please. Let me do this. There we go. There we go. It's right there. MFD 2026 Mailbag Live Stream. Max Fun Drive 2026 Mailbag Live Stream is where you are at this very moment. My name is John Hodgman, and as I wait for my friend, colleague, co-host, cohort, Jesse Thorne, as well as friend, colleague, producer, cohort, Jennifer Marmer, to join us. I will just say, here's something that I remembered. Today is Jesse's birthday. Today is Jesse's birthday. So I'm encouraging all of you in the chat. Oh, hey, thank you very much. Not a new member, but I always upgrade for the drives. Thank you very much for being a supporting member of Maximum Fun. I don't know when Jesse's going to come in, but let's all hide behind the couch so we can say, surprise. When he hops in, I'm going to jump out of here, and then I'll jump out at him. I'll say, surprise. What would be a wonderful birthday gift for your friend Jesse Thorne? Well, cufflinks, obviously, but also, why don't you become a member of Maximum Fun if you're not one already? There is a URL directly below my microphone. Right here, you can see it. MaximumFun.org/join JJHo. That is your direct line to becoming a member for the very first time. If you're already a member and you would like to upgrade or boost your membership, there's a button you can click through there. Why become a member? Why? Well, long before there was Patreon, long before there was independent podcasting, well, I mean, there was always independent podcasting. Let me put it this way. Long before there was Patreon, and certainly long before there was corporate podcasting, there was Maximum Fun. And this fellow I know, Jesse Thorne, had an idea. Why don't we create a network of podcasts where the shows are owned by the creators? Rare enough, Maximum Fun would offer those creators logistical support, production support, recording and distribution support, other support. And there's more than 3 kinds of support, maybe 4 or 5 kinds of support, so that the talent, the creators, can simply make the podcast that they love. And why don't we just not give it away for free? But for every 2 weeks of the year, we would have essentially a pledge drive where we come to the listeners and say, hey, you get it for free. That's what we want. But if you're able to support us, your money will not only go to a certain degree to Maximum Fun HQ in downtown Los Angeles to keep the lights on there and to keep all of our incredible staff working there, who without whom we could not make Judge John Hodgman, but primarily directly to the podcasts that you love. And that is to say that when you go to MaximumFun.org/join or join JJHo, you have the opportunity to choose what podcasts you would like your money to go to. There's a really,
Hey, John, how are you?
surprise! I was hiding behind the couch to
You got me.
for your birthday.
You got me again.
Look, and everyone in the chat is going bananas. They're all saying surprise.
Oh, look at that. Isn't that fun?
Birthday, Bailiff Thorne.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday to the bailiff. Everyone is so happy for you. And I was just saying, a terrific gift for Jesse Thorne, of course, is cufflinks. But after that, become a member of Maximum Fun.
Yeah, second would be maximumfun.org/join would be number 2. Number
That
1,
are-
links. Number 2, that.
Now, look, I've mentioned it before. It's part of the public record, but here's the thing. It never occurred to me in a many a year to do a podcast. Jonathan Colton turned to me one day of an evening and said, "Have you heard of podcasts? This is how they work." And I said, "That's dumb and it'll never work." And then I realized it's like every idea that Jonathan's ever pitched me. It's not dumb and it did work. And then I guess it was around 2010. My friend Jesse Thorne I've been listening to Sound of Young America for some time. Jesse had interviewed me for my book, The Areas of My Expertise. We had become friendly. I was admiring his industriousness, his ambition, his talents, his skill as an interviewer, and obviously his incredibly beautiful eyes and eyebrows. And Jesse said, "Would you come on Jordan Jesse Go and judge some stuff, like a Judge Judy type thing?" And I said, "Yeah, I love that idea." And we had a great time. And then at some point, as I was approaching my 40th year in entertainment, on earth and in entertainment, I was like, maybe I should do a podcast. And there was only one person that I would turn to, not only for the pleasure to work with, but also the pleasure to learn from, as my Virgil through the several circles of podcasting hell. Because here's the thing, I didn't want to do it on my own. And Jesse Thorne had formed this network called Maximum Fun at that point. And I knew that if I joined Jesse and if I joined Maximum Fun, I wouldn't have to do it on my own because I wouldn't be able to. I don't know where you get podcast tape.
Right.
You know, I've gone to Staples. I'm like, I think I'm out of podcast tape. Where do I go? Here or Lowe's?
Mm-hmm. I was about to say Lowe's.
Were you? We understand each other. And so I said, this is just a little story. This is a little birthday story, Jesse. The story of not how you were born, but how the Judge John Hodgman was born and how Maximum Fun was born. And so I joined and we started making the podcast, and it was immediately a huge delight because, as I've said on the podcast, it allowed me to share the whole of myself, not a comedic persona, not always someone who's always funny, a humorist, if you will, but also someone who's, you know, like you, very curious about other people and likes talking to other people. And I came to understand exactly what a special enterprise Maximum Fun was and is. This was long before there was corporate podcasts. This was long before there were meaningful celebrity podcasts. This was podcasting, I think, at its essence. People with inspiration and curiosity making something and putting it out into the world independently. And one thing that you offered that certainly no other podcast network, particularly the big corporate ones, would ever offer, was ownership, that the creators would own it. And you also set up a system where the listeners would support it. Every week they could listen for free, but only 2 weeks out of every year, we would go to the listeners and say, hey, if you are able to, would you become a member and support the show directly? And for now, well over a decade, I think coming up on 15 years, I hate to say it because it ages me, but since we're talking about landmarks, we're talking about birthdays. Judge John Hodgman is turning 15 or something this November, maybe 16. Like it's in high school. It's starting to think about where it might want to go to college,
And
or if
Hampshire
college is
just
even worth it.
closed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's it going to go now that Hampshire closed?
Yeah,
Guess
now that Hampshire is closed. Yeah.
It's just going to go to Evergreen.
Yeah, just go to Evergreen College out in Oregon, I believe. Maybe apply to Reed.
It's in Washington State, Evergreen. Yeah. It's not going to get into Reed.
Or maybe it would go to the College of the Atlantic in Bar Harbor, Maine, or do an apprenticeship program, or maybe the podcast is going to, just take a couple of years off to backpack around Australia or whatever. It's going on a bit of a walkabout.
Yeah.
Point is, I'm not great at math. I can't do subtraction. I've never been able to figure it out, and I'm not a business person. And thanks to Maximum Fun, I never had to think about business, and we've only thrived as a result. But also thanks to Maximum Fun, I could do work that made sense to me, where I shared of myself, you share of yourself, we share of ourselves. We allow our listeners to share of us, and we are rewarded directly from the listeners. It's not like the money is going through a subscription service via a third party, and then there are 3 levels of executives who all have notes for us or whatever, and then we don't own it, and then they decide to cancel us and we can't take it somewhere else or whatever. It all made sense. And not just sense, but dollars.
Can I tell you a business story?
I love it.
Some years ago, 3 friends of mine, I won't say their names, were offered a podcast by a big podcasting company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these 3 friends of mine happened to already have a podcast on a podcast network that I owned. And they told me, well, look, they basically backed a money truck up to our door. What are we going to do? Say no?
What are we going to do?
I said, do it. Just take the money. It'll be great. Go ahead. Enjoy making the money.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Believe it, they had a 2-year contract.
2-year contract with Big Podcast Co. Inc.
Yeah. And they were getting paid great. They were glad to be getting paid. They weren't getting any feedback or anything from this podcast company.
Right.
At the end of this 2-year period, they just never heard anything from that podcast company again. And they had to stop doing their show. That podcast company kept it, but never spoke to them again or paid them for anything ever again. And that was that.
They got yoinked.
One of the most distinctive parts about Maximum Fun as a company is that when you are the creator and you actually own the work that you make, you have the power to make the show yourself. If for some reason Maximum Fun ever decided not to work with the show again, that show could just go do it itself. We went through a financial crisis maybe 10 years ago where we just didn't have any producers. And
also I had embezzled a lot of money.
Yeah. And I just didn't have the money to pay anyone. And so
because of my embezzlement.
Yeah, because of your embezzlement. So I told Jonathan Van Ness, we can't afford to pay a producer to produce your show anymore. It wasn't generating any revenue at the time. I said, we just don't have any money. I love the show, love you, just don't have a penny. And he left, and he got cast on television, started his very successful podcast up somewhere else. We gave it to him. Said, go for it.
You could have said to Jonathan Van Ness, sorry, dude, we own that IP.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You have to come and work for us and be miserable or do nothing, which happens, in all forms of entertainment these days. You pitch a show to a network, or you pitch a movie to a studio, you pitch a podcast to a big podcast company, they own the IP. But not only, what's so rare about, almost unique, certainly in podcasting, but almost no networks or, sort of publishing conglomerates or whatever, aside from book publishing, the artist almost never owns the IP. Maximum Fun makes it different. Not only do I and you own, as co-creators of Judge John Hodgman, own the IP, but I dare say IP freely. IP very freely as a member of Max Fun. And I mean that as a member of the community of hosts and producers and editors and staff and professionals and listeners that make up the Max Fun community. But I also mean literally as a member of Max Fun. I went to MaximumFun.org/join, and I clicked all the podcasts that I listen to on Maximum Fun so that I know that my monthly contribution flows directly to them. And I'm very proud to do it, even though I'm in the network. It's very special. It's a very special feeling to be part of not only an organization, but indeed a movement that you believe in.
We also, and I'm saying we as in you and I, John,
Yeah.
we own our show. Not only do we own our show in the sense of owning the IP, but we own our business. You and I own the show. We are very grateful to be partnered with Maximum Fun
Right.
because we believe in their mission, and we're also very grateful to them for all the services that they provide to us that we wouldn't be able to do ourselves. Every time somebody sends an email to ask about the donation, someone who works at Maximum Fun and is a worker owner at Maximum Fun answers that email that we simply wouldn't have been able to. So I'm very proud to own my shows. I own all three of my shows. I own, obviously, Judge John Hodgman in partnership with you and Jordan Jesse Go in partnership with Jordan. But I own all three of my shows, and I'm very proud to work with Max Fun on all three of them. And so if you want to support directly the creators who own their shows and the folks who support them, go to MaximumFun.org/join, become a member. Or upgrade your membership, boost your membership. If you're a $5 a month level, maybe kick it up to 10 and get that ad-free feed, for example. Should we answer a question?
Yeah, we should. But before
questions here.
before we get into it, because we're going to open up the mailbag now, we're going to put this aside for a moment and just read some letters from listeners and talk to them. But I just wanted to highlight this comment in the chat that Memphisotin put there. I send some of my Max Fun membership money to shows I don't even have a chance to follow just because I think they should exist. That's incredibly gracious and generous of you. And I would encourage if you've got a little something you want to say about what Max Fun means to you and put it into the chat. I would love to hear why Max Fun is important to you, because it's very important to me, or else we wouldn't be doing this. And here, let's bring in Jennifer Marmer, another wonderful Max Funster, obviously our producer. And it's so great to see you, Jennifer. And we're are you ready to listen to some letters to the editor, as it were, and respond to them?
Yes.
Please.
All right. This is what we got from Tom in Ashburn, Virginia. He says, my wife and daughter occasionally save chocolate chip cookie dough balls in the freezer. I occasionally eat the frozen cookie dough balls. They do not like this. The baker does not intend for the dough to be eaten unbaked. I don't get what all the fuss is about. I'm going to eat the cookies eventually, whether they're baked or not. Does the level of rawness really matter?
I'm feeling a level of raw about this.
Oh,
You're talking about level of rawness? I'm feeling a level of raw about this.
You're feeling WWE raw. Sounds like.
That's right. Look, first of all, chocolate chip cookies we're talking about here. We all agree that's the best cookie. To me, it's practically the only cookie.
It's not even, there's no other cookie that's even in the same fucking ballpark. It is chocolate chip cookies, all other cookies. I know that Jennifer Marmer is a defender of sugar cookies and whatever. That's great. Good for her.
Chocolate chip is still better. Chocolate chip is still better.
Chocolate chip is one of the great human achievements. Like
one of the great inventions.
One of the reasons to be an American, as far as I'm concerned, are cheeseburgers and chocolate chip cookies. Two perfect foods that we invented.
They are respectively the original art, the American original art forms. They're the jazz and the hip hop of snacks and beverages. I mean, snacks, I guess. But if you had to choose, because here's someone in the chat saying, I stan an oatmeal raisin. Everyone likes what they like. But if you had to, what's your distant second cookie? By the way, thank you very much for your comment. It's really nice to see you.
I'll be right back. I'm going to turn on another light in here.
What's the distant second?
Peanut butter. I like peanut butter cookies. I like a chewy ginger cookie, like a molasses ginger cookie. I'm gonna say molasses ginger cookie with peanut butter cookie right in the mix there. But they're definitely a comfortable B tier. I would gladly eat both of those. Both of those are worth the calories to me.
Our oatmeal cookie loving Stan over here says this is Oreo erasure, but Oreo, that's an iconic cookie, but that is a commercial cookie. It's not something you can make at home.
Yeah, that's a different kind of product.
Um,
Oreo cookie is by far the best cookie you can buy at a grocery store. Like I would rather eat an Oreo cookie than a Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, of course. Although I do love the use of the nautical flags on the Chips Ahoy packaging. You know what I'm talking? Do they still have that on there? Jennifer, weigh in on whether you think this person should be eating frozen balls of chocolate chip cookie dough while I look up the Chips Ahoy packaging.
Yeah, Jennifer, you're the most ardent baker amongst the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I cut out and cut back in. So, what is the distant second cookie? Is that what you're asking?
No.
That's question. You can answer that question, but also, what do you think about this letter writer?
I mean, I did think it was funny that they said, I'm going to eat it regardless. Who cares if it's raw? I thought that was funny, but I also know that if I had prepared cookie dough in the freezer that I was planning on baking and found out that my dad or my husband or somebody else in my house had eaten the raw versions that I couldn't bake anymore, I would be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I'd be Stan too. I will say this. I want to note that while I am not a doctor, it is not healthy to eat raw cookie dough.
No, yeah.
You make your own decisions, but not only are eggs a potential source of toxins, it's a very uncommon, salmonella very uncommon in the United States, but it could happen, very much so. But more than that, raw flour is very dangerous to eat.
Yep.
So this is a public health issue as much as it is a baking etiquette issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That said, those balls of dough are the property of their makers until such time as they have been released. The people who made those dough balls belong to the people who made those dough balls own those dough balls until they have disclaimed them. And the point at which these people are disclaiming them is when they put them in a cookie tin on the kitchen counter and I eat all of the cookies that are in there.
Yeah.
Someone in your life is being generous enough to bake you fresh chocolate chip cookies. And you are interfering with their generosity by snagging some balls before it's time. It's just not nice.
Mm-hmm.
We got some
ball before it's time. That's what I say.
No balls before their time. Some people like a sugar cookie. And some people like a snickerdoodle. And some people like a shortbread. And now we're getting into something I care about because I wouldn't call that a cookie. I would call it a shortbread, but I like a butter cookie, like a tinned butter cookie. I like that a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
Again, but that's something that you would get at the store more often than you would cook yourself.
I like a sprinkle cookie, which is great. And I like making sprinkle cookies a little bit more than the ones that come in like a bakery like a Jewish bakery where you get your challah and then get a few sprinkle cookies. But in the Instagram chat, Dan McCoy says he'd rather have a snickerdoodle, which is wild.
You know what I like?
I'd say.
since I have a taste for the savory more than the sweet, I enjoy, and as a youth could easily put away quite a few pecan sandies.
Oh yeah,
pecan sandies. I like.
I just want to say I'm going to add to all of this, if you don't mind. Dan McCoy, sound off in the comments. Do you want to come on Jordan Jesse Go on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time? Sound off in the comments, but only if you're Dan McCoy. Okay, go ahead.
Andrew McNair on YouTube asked where Madeline's fall.
Yeah,
we had some.
Those are the sort of lemony sweet sponge cake cookies that that Proust got so fucking excited about.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
see.
those are whack.
Nuh-uh, they're so good.
I like them.
I love them.
Every year, my wife, who's a whole human being in her own right, teaches a little bit of Proust to her senior English class. Not the whole Remembrance of Things Past. That's too long. But maybe the Swan's Way chapter. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes them Madelines every year. Brings them to class.
That's
Great
so
teacher.
sweet.
Great
And
teacher.
Andrew wants to know if they're cookies or cake. I say cookies. This Trader Joe's also says cookies.
It's a cakey cookie.
It's a cakey cookie, but it is a cookie.
Now, before we move on from the cookie discussion, I just need to say I'm looking at a popular image search option on a browser. I have a memory that Chips Ahoy used to have nautical flags on the packaging that spelled out Chips Ahoy in nautical flag language. But now I don't see any of them, even like packages from the 60s. So did I imagine that? Is this a Mandela effect for Chips Ahoy? Sound out from the comments, if you will. Let me know.
Yeah. And Dan McCoy, I still haven't heard back from you about Jordan.
I was gonna. I have a follow-up question. Is that 1 p.m. Eastern?
That's 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for Dan McCoy.
He can do it. He can do it.
Did Dan say so, or are you just?
Yeah, he said so in the
Dan?
Instagram. He said so in the Instagram chat, which we're not seeing in StreamYard. But he said, "What was that? 1 p.m. Eastern? I could do that."
Oh, that's very good. You know what? I'm going to text Dan an invitation to join us here if he feels like it. Why not? Right?
Yeah, text it.
You can talk to him directly if he's around. Dan, check your text messages. See if you got this invite, and then press that link and come join us. Hey, look at this person. I absolutely love Max Fun. I'm a huge fan of so many of the podcasts on Max Fun. I'm so glad they're always there to keep me company. I'm so happy to be a member, and I love the bonus feed. For those who don't know, the bonus feed is the bonus feed. Every member at the $5 a month level or above gets access to the bonus feed. We do an extra podcast every month, the members only mailbag. It's sort of like this, where we kind of chit chat, use letters as starting off points for some conversation about cookies and whatnot. And then every podcast does bonus episodes, including the Flophouse. What's happening, Dan?
Hello.
Hi, what a nice surprise.
I was busy unscrewing some stuff when I got the invitation. We put in these new blinds, and so I was taking down the bars, but now there's you see these mounting holes that are kind of ugly. So I don't know if I made the right decision.
I'm gonna
Dan,
those, baby.
Yeah.
There could be nothing more Dan McCoyish than Dan coming in hot with some blinds updates.
Can I just say, I'm going to turn my camera here.
Yeah.
Get a load. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
My camera got unplugged.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We can still hear you though.
Wait, I'm plugged back in. Here I come. I'm coming back. Plugged in. Put me back. Come on back.
Yeah,
Come on back, camera. Come on back. I don't know why it doesn't.
While we're doing that, I'll read this comment from Yachtmunz on Twitch. I'm happy to support a network that has wonderful, caring shows like Max Fun. I listen to 99% Invisible. No dispute. Wonderful podcast. But as Yachtmunz points out, I'm conflicted because that show is on a network with Megyn Kelly's podcast. I don't have to worry about that with Maximum Fun. It's true. It's true. And here's someone who says, I legitimately listen to about 60 hours of podcasts a week, and that is because of Maximum Fun. Podcasts are my hobby now. It makes me feel so good to have and be able to support such a great org. Thank you so much. Dan, how's your Max Fun going?
It's all right. It gives me purpose in life. It gives me something to work toward.
Now, the Flophouse, of course, is a very famous and wonderful podcast that started before that you joined Maximum Fun, and then you joined Maximum Fun, and you have bonus episodes in the BOCO feed as well, the bonus content feed. What kind of stuff does the Flophouse? Normally, what you do is you and Elliot and Stu watch a terrible movie and talk about it. You also do Flophouse Minis, where you talk about anything.
Yeah,
What's up?
slightly less popular.
What's coming down the bonus content feed from the Flophouse this year?
This year we are returning to first principles and talking about movies, and we're committed to doing 3 Transformers films, and depending on whether we hit various benchmarks, we may talk about them all. That's looking unlikely, but I think we might do a couple extra ones. So there's going to be a lot of Transformers talk. And in the past, we've done a lot of Stuart's a famed role-playing game aficionado, and he's run me and Elliot and our old Daily Show friend Jubin Parang through some RPGs in the past that were popular. Other stuff.
I
That's
just
amazing.
wanted to. What I was trying to do was show my friend Dan McCoy that I just got new blinds, same type,
What?
same type.
Nice.
Wait, are these those blinds where you just sort of like you pull them down with your hand and then you lift them with your hand, no strings attached?
Mine has a string. Mine has.
Oh, yours is a string. Mine is the one that you just kind of tap on and it magically returns up. I'm very excited.
Oh, the lights just went off. That's a cool thing about this office is that sometimes the motion detector is outside of my office.
Yeah.
But it controls the lights in my office. So if no one is walking around out there, sometimes the lights go out.
You know, when we say that your support during the Max Fun Drive keeps the lights on at Max Fun HQ, obviously we're lying because it doesn't. The lights go on and off as they will because of a haunted robot. But otherwise,
I do like this new dramatic look.
You look great.
I feel like I'm in a movie where if I watch a certain videotape, I'll be killed.
Here's a longtime wonderful supporter. Esther writes, "Love you. I'm working right now, so I can't hang. Keep rocking it. Thank you." Dan K. McCoy, your middle name is Kirk, I believe, right?
That is correct.
I'm also a middle named K. Do you remember what my middle initial stands for? I'll give you a hint. Cornflakes. It doesn't stand for cornflakes. I'll give you another hint. Special K. I'll give you another hint. Raisin Bran. What is? Hey, we're playing
Kellogg's.
connections. That's right. Kellogg is my middle name.
Okay.
But one of my favorite, Dan, there's so many favorite things I have about you, but one of them is when on your social media handle is often Dan K. McCoy and it reads as Dank McCoy. And that's what I think about. That's what I think about whenever I think of my friend Dan McCoy. I was like, you mean Dank McCoy?
There's no other way to read that. I used to fight against it, then I'm like, why? Why? This is good branding.
It's the greatest. Now, Dank, I have a question for you. You are an avid cook. You make wonderful meals. I've seen photos. Oh, I have. Hey, visto photos. Yes. Now,
see.
Are you also a baker, or do you more cook? Are you more of a cooker?
I love to bake. I have not done it so much over the past few years because that is a good way to gain a lot of weight, and I was trying to avoid that trap. But
right.
Speaking of the Daily Show, like I think that was the one thing that Jon Stewart knew about me was that I baked bread, because there was a period I was baking my way through an entire bread book, and I would bring it in some extra bread to share with my colleagues, and John would sort of peer at it every morning as if he was considering it, and then of course he would instead take one of the bagels that we had there. Because
John always did make an effort to remember one thing about people. So if we all agree, and I trust that you are with us on this, that the best cookie is a chocolate chip cookie. Yes or no?
I love certain chocolate chip cookies, but I think that there actually is.
Where are we driving this train?
Yeah, I got my finger on the remove button here for
I think there actually is a pretty big differential between a good and a bad chocolate chip cookie, and
All right, sure.
everyone has their personal ideas about what makes a good one or a bad one, whether it
Are
be
you
like
when
fat
when
and
it comes to
chewy.
chocolate chip cookie, are you a crisp or a chewy fellow?
I like one that's sort of crisp on the edges and chewy in the middle, like a flat chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of butter causing that spread. That's what I like. Yeah.
But after chocolate chip cookie, where do you what is the best cookie after chocolate chip cookie?
As I said in the chat, I have a real fondness for snickerdoodles. That was my
Oh yeah, that's why we started harassing you. I forgot about
family
that.
cookie. My mom would make that one. So, perhaps cinnamon has something to do with it, but it's a very buttery cookie with sugar and cinnamon. It's very simple, but I think it's great.
I think I never knew what a snickerdoodle was because I just preferred that it was I thought it was a bar. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like a lemon, not a lemon bar, but that kind of form
Right.
factor.
It seems like it would be with the name.
But no, I'm looking now at a photo of it, and it's round, and I'm told they're typically baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 12 minutes until the edges are set, but the
Sounds
centers are
right.
soft. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when it comes to chocolate chip cookies, I know that I'm a broken record in this department, but shout out to Kenji Lopez Alt. Our man Jay Kenj is a real chocolate chip cookie genius. Come up with a lot of great insights into chocolate chip cookies over there at Serious Eats.
Yep.
This guy's out here browning butter. This guy is out here having you leave your dough in the fridge for up to 10 days. These are things that develop the flavor of the cookie, because a perfect chocolate chip cookie to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with Dan. I like a crispy on the edge, chewy on the inside. The only kind of chocolate chip cookie I'm like actually gonna be like, come on, is a cakey chocolate chip cookie. I don't want like a genuinely cakey one.
No.
Or
not for
like
me.
a crumbly one. Oh, that's bad. But a crispy one or a chewy one, I'm open. Large, small, thick, thin, I'm pretty open. But I think Dan was correct in identifying the perfect qualities. But I think the best chocolate chip cookie, the cookie part, has a rich, developed, caramelly, malty flavor.
More than just sweet. It's got depth.
It's not just a sugar cookie, right? Like
Right.
that's the essential quality to me of a chocolate chip cookie, is that you have developed that flavor. And those steps that Kenji has recognized are the ones that make it happen. Make it happen. You don't have to do all of them, but if you keep brown, if you brown your sugar, come on, that's a Stella Parks move. Same Serious Eats, but a different person.
Yeah.
If you brown your sugar a little bit in the oven, and you can just keep it, you can just have brown sugar in your oven. I mean, in your pantry. Oh my gracious! You want to add caramel notes? Give me a break.
Yeah, the secret to the Kenji Lopez Alt chocolate chip cookie is a 7-day dry brine and then reverse sear. Hey, this is my nickname now, Dank McCoy, the Snickerdoodle boy. I got a comment for you to react to here.
Okay.
Snickerdoodle with some cranberry and cream cheese mixed on a baby. No, I misread that. Mixed in. Sorry. I thought you'd take a baby and just mix some cranberry and cream cheese and a snickerdoodle on its belly, but that's not it. What about, so leaving out the baby part, snickerdoodle with cranberry and cream cheese mixed in? What do you think about that, Dank?
This, I mean, my gut instinct is this perturbs me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I need to know the details of how this is done. I mean, it's like that sounds like something that you would have in kind of a cheesecake bar style cookie, whereas snickerdoodle is a very simple traditional cookie, and I'm trying to imagine it. I mean, certainly the cinnamon flavors would go well with those things, but I have a hard time
Well,
conceptualizing.
you heard it, folks. Dank McCoy does not like this idea. I'm sorry, Mr. Piggy Mouse. We're canceling your Max Fun membership forever. Banned forever. Thanks for playing. No, just joking. Of course, we're so glad that you're a member. We hope you're a member. We hope that you become a Maximum Fun member right now. There's a little URL crawling across the bottom of the screen if you're watching in portrait mode. No, landscape mode.
Sorry I think I've caused enough cookie chaos, and I should get back to my possible home unimprovements. But it was good to chat with you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Dan. And everyone should listen to the Flophouse.
Please.
And thanks for being a member of Maximum Fun, Dan McCoy.
Thank you.
Goodbye forever. Kick. I had to press a button that said kick from studio. Kick.
I mean, I'm gonna see him at 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern on Tuesday. So it's not goodbye forever for me.
No, it's not goodbye forever because you're doing Jordan Jesse Go live streams every AM of the weekday where you find and talk about interesting subreddits. It's called the Subdoms.
Dan and I reviewed Somni Gastronomy, the one where people cook recipes that they dreamed of. That they literally had a dream about. Like they dream about a food and then they write it down when they wake up and cook it later. This is, if Jordan and I meet our next Max Fun Drive goal, we are going to eat a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper sausages, which Jordan Cowling, I thought we were just going to try the sausages. Then Jordan immediately went on social media and posted, we'll take out a whole package, which means Jordan and I have to eat 3 sausages each, and they're hunky boys.
Yeah, anyway, hunky sausages. You guys are a couple of hunky sausages.
We're going to be drinking the good stuff. You know about the good stuff?
No, tell me all about it. Is it the sequel to The Substance?
No, the good stuff is a man in r/Somni Gastronomy had a dream that he and his family were at a very fancy, large McDonald's. And it was a McDonald's with table service. It was like a huge, like palatial McDonald's with table service. And they had a waiter, and the waiter's name was Shirt Up. And and this waiter was obviously very beloved in this restaurant. And every time one of his orders was ready, the people in the kitchen would ring the bell and say, "Shirt up!"
That's amazing.
And the family ordered their cheeseburgers or whatever, their McDoubles or something. And then they ordered Dr. Peppers. And he said, "Oh, I'll bring you the good stuff." And they had no idea to know what the good stuff was, but he insisted he was going to bring them the good stuff.
Yeah.
So when he finally showed up with the good stuff, it was half Dr. Pepper, half apple juice. But also you can taste both flavors at the same time, but not mixed together. You could taste both Dr. Pepper flavor and apple juice flavor at the same time, but not mixed together.
Do they have different specific gravities so that they don't mix, like a Pousse Café?
But then you would need 2 straws. I'm saying you can taste both simultaneously. It's not alternately. Simultaneously, you can taste both. So that's the good stuff. So we're going to be drinking the good stuff and eating Dr. Pepper sausages. So shirts up to all you Jordan Jesse Go fans out there. Shirts up.
Shirts up.
We'll see you on the internet Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. I am wondering. Oh, Kira came close enough. Thank you, Kira. You turned the lights on.
Oh, the lights are back on. That's your membership dollars at work, everybody. The lights are back on. And you know why?
Thank you to Kira, our traffic manager. Thank you to Daniel Baruella, our business operations associate. Thank you to Julian Burrell, the producer of Tights and Fights. They all happen to walk past the motion detector. Yeah, and E Pluribus Motto turned the lights back on for us. So thank you to the 3 of them.
I want to say thank you to this listener. Upgraded again after downgrading at the start of the year due to losing my job. I'm so sorry to hear that. I still don't have a new job. But love Max Fun, and you folks deserve it. That's really, really wonderful. And, look, we're very, very grateful. We you know, if you're in a position where you can't afford it this year, obviously we're understanding. But you know, at $5 a month, we hope to make it as affordable to everybody as possible. And by the way, if you're in a position to afford 2 memberships, you can go to MaximumFun.org/join and buy a gift membership for someone you know or someone you don't know who's on a waiting list to get a free membership based thanks to your generosity. So thank you. Amy, I'm very, very happy. Thank you so much for this. And I want to dedicate this video to you. We saw this yesterday, but we're going to take another look at it.
Hi, guys. My weird thing, I just started doing this, is a sandwich, bread, peanut butter, spicy tuna.
I'll just pause it there for a moment. You know why I'm playing this. Jennifer Marmon, do we have an update on this challenge?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know, because this is listener Clint, who submitted this recipe for our Munchies episode, which is in the bonus content feed right now. If you remember, MaximumFun.org/join, but you know. But I refused to eat this sandwich because it was too gross. But we asked you, our wonderful listeners and members and potential members, that if we reach 350 new members and upgrading members by the end of this week, I would eat, and you all, I think too, Jesse and Jennifer would eat this sandwich live on the live stream on Monday. If you missed it, Clint just said peanut butter and spicy tuna. And here's the rest of the recipe. Oh. Oh. Oh.
This is the worst part.
This
Sorry.
is the worst. I forgot about this part.
There you have it. Good sandwich, good fun. Try it out. Hi, guys.
I love his exit so much.
Every time I watch that video, it's like reading Alan Moore's Watchmen again. I noticed something different. Did you notice he was holding a little magic wand with a thingy on it?
No.
I did.
What's that?
I noticed it this
pointer
time.
wand.
I didn't notice it last time. But that's what he said. That was his illustration of the idea of good fun.
It is a good fun. You know what? I'm not in it for good fun. I'm in it for maximum fun. And thanks to Clint, you will all have some maximum fun as I suffer through this sandwich on Monday. And thanks to you. I mean, this is amazing. We are so happy to reach this benchmark, even though it will be disgusting. We will eat it on Monday at 4 p.m. Again, I think we have time for one more letter though before we hit our hour mark and move on with the weekend.
We do indeed. This is from Mark right here in the great city of the angels, Los Angeles, California. My wife and I disagree on whether or not a friendly honk from a person inside a car to a person outside a car exists. My wife thinks that a short, light honk that can be used to get the attention of someone outside of a car for the purpose of waving at them is friendly. I think car honks are always loud and jarring for someone outside a car. No matter the intention, a honk can never be friendly. What do you think?
Is there such a thing as a friendly honk? Jennifer,
let me say this.
Oh, yeah.
I've received one such honk that I've ever been happy with in my life. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh, can't wait to hear that story. But let's go to Jennifer first. Yeah.
Oh, I can understand the inclination of wanting to do a friendly honk. I've certainly seen a friend like walking in the neighborhood while I'm in the car and I want to honk and wave at them. But like, I think if I honk, they're just going to think somebody's honking. They're not going to know that I'm trying to get their attention to say hi. Like, it's just going to feel like an annoying honk. So what I end up doing is if I'm able to roll down my window and drive past them and go, hi, then I do. Otherwise, I just keep driving and forget it. not worth it.
Roll down your window, say hi. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse, tell me your honk story.
I was walking outside of the former office of Maximum Fun, the American Cement Building here in Los Angeles. Just walking to go to the taco truck to get some tacos for my lunch. RIP the taco truck. It's still alive. I just can't walk there anymore because it's too far away now that we have a new office. I was walking down the
there was
street.
some way the taco truck could come to you, but of course that's impossible.
Impossible. I think I did enough business with the taco truck that they should consider coming to me.
I agree. Strong agree.
I heard a single honk. Then I heard, Jesse Thorne! I turned around. Who's leaning out of a 1970s Mercedes? Maybe it was a Volvo. Mr. Zach Galifianakis.
Zach
Whoa.
Galifianakis.
The nicest guy in show business.
Lovely fellow and incredibly talented.
The great genius, Mr. Zach Galifianakis. The writer's office for his television program was in that building for 1 year. And he happened to be stopping into the office, just saw me walking down the street, was thrilled to see the great Zach Galifianakis. I was thinking of it because just saw Zach Galifianakis again the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to be on an upcoming episode of Bullseye, and everyone should watch his gardening show. This is a gardening show, which is just a delight. It is just the most pleasant way you could spend time. Watching Zach Galifianakis talk about tomatoes.
I did not know he
with
had a
children.
gardening show.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. That said, cancel Netflix and join Max Fun. So I'm giving you two different messages.
Yeah.
Two different messages. Just watch that new Alan Partridge season. That's on Canopy.
Maybe they should call this
your library.
Maybe they should call the network Miximum Fun because of these mixed messages you're sending.
Yeah, it's not Zach Galifianakis' fault that they apparently choose to support Louis C.K.
One time, and this has to be, I think before we started Judge John Hodgman, it was during the Daily Show era for old Hodgman here. My little family and I were in our little car on the West Side Highway waiting, on the West Side, West Street, heading north. We were waiting at a stoplight and I heard a friendly honk, beep, beep. And I turned and I'm like, what does this person next to me want? And it was Jon Stewart. He had pulled up next to me. He said hello. And he said, I will follow you. And I said, great. We're going to the Renaissance Fair. And that was true. But he did not follow me to the Renaissance Fair because he had things to do.
He's got stuff to do.
Point is, I believe in a friendly honk.
Farm animals to rescue?
Yeah. I believe in a friendly honk. I know that there's some in the chat who do not. It does require, to me, it requires a light hand and it's got to be two beeps. Beep, beep. And not only is it, I don't know that I personally would use it to signal a person that I see on the street. But every now and then, if someone in front of you is on their phone at a red light and it turns green and you give them time to see it, but they don't see it, you got to give them a little beep, beep. But Jesse, you held your head in your hands. You a strong disagree from Jesse.
Honks is for safety.
I know, but sometimes you need to.
I know
you're alerting other people.
I know you live in New York City where honks are for everything.
I strong disagree there. I'm not advocating for over honking. I am saying there is a thing called a friendly honk, and it's a Roadrunner style meep meep, and it can be deployed
John?
very sparingly, but it is okay to do it from time to time.
I think that you're an angry goose because you're over honking.
Memphis Sotan, once again, I'll never be able to pronounce that. I'm sorry. A dear friend was jaywalking and almost got run over by James Cromwell as he screeched past.
That'll do, Memphis Sotan.
James Cromwell shouted out of the road, dickweed. Would have been friendlier.
Legendary socialist. Shout out to legendary socialist James Cromwell.
That's just put that back up for posterity.
Speaking of legendary socialists, I thought of another time that I appreciated honks, and that
Yeah.
was prompted by someone in the comments, although I don't see their comment here immediately. The Sea Whiz 26. Thank you, the Sea Whiz 26. I spent a lot of time outside of Children's Hospital in Los Angeles
Yeah.
protesting their decision, ultimately their decision to close their clinic for gender affirming care for kids.
Oh, gosh.
And I know that, John, you probably spent a lot of time on the picket lines with the WGA during the WGA strike.
And the SAG strike. I'm a member of 2 unions. They call me
Thank
Johnny
you.
Tunion.
Okay. I'm SAG eligible. If anybody needs to give me work.
I keep going into the offices saying, now's the year. Put them in.
Uh-huh.
Take them off the bench.
You know what? It's okay. I'll continue to not pay the $3,000 it costs to join until such time as I receive a job that pays more than that. But I think when you are assembled on the street in protest and someone gives a clearly supportive honk, like I really like it, actually, because there was occasionally somebody, driving past in a fucking lifted pickup truck, waving a Trump flag and flipping us off, or whatever, or similar. I was very grateful at all the people who made it very clear that they were supportive of us. And that included a lot of folks coming out of the Children's Hospital parking lot, the worker parking lot, because they couldn't really say anything on Children's Hospital property without risking their jobs, because there was Children's Hospital security there, like spying on people.
Ugh.
And it was really gross. But they were supportive of us. And so there was 2 things that were happening. One was people were like putting a hand on our shoulder, like nurses would like put a hand on our shoulder on the way out of the office, or they just say like, we're grateful you're here, or like, we support your kids, or something like that. And then when employees were leaving the employee parking structure, they'd honk like motherfuckers for us. And it was very much appreciated by us.
Yeah, that's a good and friendly honk as well. Jennifer Marmorite, looks like you put a photo in the studio.
Yeah.
What's this? What do you want to present this?
There's a car that I saw. Well, I saw it on the old TikTok, and they have a button. They have a regular like horn that you like push in your steering wheel, like regular honk honk, like that loud horn. But they also have on the side a little button called the toot button, and it's and it
makes a fart noise.
No, just like a little, like a lower volume toot toot sound. And I think that's cool. I think that would be a friendlier honk, but it's the Ineos Grenadier. I don't know. I've never heard of this car. I only know that it has a toot button, and that sounds adorable.
And is that real, or is that something made up for
It's
TikTok?
real. It's real.
I am surprised that there aren't more signaling sounds in cars, because a friendly honk, I think, is a real thing, and a toot button is a good idea. But on the other hand, maybe people would just be overusing that stuff. So here's a controversial one, also inspired by someone in the comments. I can't find it right now, so forgive me, but you know who you are. Would you ever flash your lights at someone if they were stopped at a red light and they missed that it turned green? Or alternately, another practice that happens, and I'm not commenting on whether this is a good practice or not, I'm just asking the question. You're in the left lane, the passing lane of a highway. Someone is just cruising in the passing lane. They're not moving over. They're not passing anybody. They're just hanging out there, and they're not going the speed that you want to go. Do you come up behind them and you flash your lights at them? Yes or no?
I don't do that.
I would never do that.
No.
John, we're Californians. Number one, you're allowed to cruise in the quote unquote passing lane here in California. It's perfectly legal and culturally acceptable. You should be going somewhat fast, like culturally speaking, you should be going faster than the rest of the traffic.
Right.
5 to 10 miles an hour faster, I would say, is generally what people in the left lane, the fast lane, as we call it here in California, are generally doing. They're doing 5 or 10 miles an hour faster than people in the right or middle lane. But yeah, I think if you're flashing lights there, you're a dick. If you are behind someone in a left turn lane on the street and the light is changed, that's a time when a toot, I think, is appropriate. If you've waited a moment, you can tell that they're genuinely like, it's not just that they like are itching their leg, that they genuinely like are looking down to read something or something.
Right.
So I would say that feels to me like a perfectly appropriate toot situation. I flash my lights at oncoming traffic when they don't have their lights on when it's dark.
That's popping up in the chat. Quite a bit of people are expressing the same experience. And some people in the chat are pointing out that they flash their lights when there is a speed trap ahead, which is it's a common enough thing. So like if you're going in one direction and you pass a sheriff who's waiting to trap a speeder, and then you see someone coming and you've passed them already, you can flash your lights to give them a heads up. There's a cop there. I will warn you, I discovered using Wikipedia that is technically illegal in some states to alert oncoming traffic to a posted up speed trap. But I think it's an issue of free speech and communication.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about that. Yeah. And then also flashlights to tell the approaching car to turn off their GD high beams. People don't turn off their high beams anymore. And I will say this also, by the way, I know how I guess it's fine to cruise in the passing lane in California, but I'll tell you what, in Maine, frowned upon, but that's the way it goes.
I drive a Hyundai.
Yeah.
And I'm generally happy with my Hyundai. But one thing that I am very unhappy with regard to my Hyundai is for years, basically since I moved to Los Angeles, the city of people not having their lights on, where my breath was taken away at the proportion of people driving at dusk in the rain and even at night with their lights out. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was going crazy, and I checked with Ben Harrison, another person from the Bay Area who lives here in Los Angeles, and he's like, no, it's nuts. How are these people not driving around with their lights off? What are they doing? And it reflects the sort of general road culture of Los Angeles, which is a sort of absence of malice, but an absence of thought as well. Just like a general feeling, like driving like you're the only one on the road, but also relatively responsibly like you're the only one on the road. Like people just sort of like switching into a lane in front of you, not because they're like trying to go like, but just because they're just not really paying very much attention.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was so mad at all these people. I'm like, it is the 21st century. These are not 87 Corollas that I'm seeing with their lights off. Like all of these cars have automatic headlights. Like all of these cars have automatic headlights. Just turn on your automatic headlights. The end. Problem solved.
Let them do the work. Let the robots work for you.
There's automatic headlights here. They turn on when there's, the windshield wipers are on. They turn on when it gets dark. However, in my Hyundai, the automatic headlight switch is on the stalk in a place where, and it moves easily enough that sometimes just from driving, I accidentally brush against it and turn off the automatic headlights. Don't know that I've done so because I expect always to have them on. And then I end up driving around in the dark at night.
Oh.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Truly.
People need to, people need a lot of re-education about how to use their cars.
Andrew says here in the Pacific Northwest, we have the people who don't turn their lights on when it's cloudy and rainy. Yeah, those people are just wearing shorts too.
Well,
like the weird jerky attitude about rain in the Pacific Northwest is so unbelievable. Just the thing where no one is allowed to use an umbrella. Like people get mad at you if you use an umbrella. Like you can be wet if you want to, dude.
I want
Patagonia shorts.
I want to we're over the hour now, so we're on borrowed time. Before we head into the weekend, I just want to thank everyone who is already a member of Maximum Fun. And I also want to thank all of those members who year over year maybe don't have the means to upgrade or boost, but they remain a member. You are also extremely valuable to us. Thank you so much. Everyone within the sound of my voice, I hope you will consider, if it is within your means, to join MaximumFun.org right now by going to the URL below. We have already hit our benchmark to make me eat that terrible sandwich on Monday, and I thank you for that. We were discussing a new benchmark to unlock a goal, and I just want to, I don't know whether we want to announce it, what the goal is.
I feel like we can announce.
So our goal is to reach, what did we decide? How many?
1,000.
1,000 new and upgrading and boosting members by the end of the Max Fun Drive. That's our goal for next week. We got to 350 this week, easy.
We're at 646. We're at 646 right now.
646. I really hope that we get to 666 before this live stream is over. Trying to trigger the thing, do the thing. Won't do it. But if we get to 1,000, then we are going to record. We just recorded our Munchies episode, where we ate a lot of weird late night, ill-advised snacks. Some of them were profoundly delicious, like Fritos drenched in Valentine hot sauce. That was really good.
That was really good.
good.
John, I just came up with a name for this. So when it's time to say the name, throw it to me. I'll say the name.
Right. But if we hit the 1,000, we're going to record another one where we're going to go hard and deep into the nightmare of weird foods and snacks. And it's going to be called what, Jesse?
Dark Munchies.
Dark Munchies.
Munchies, yeah. Dark variant.
Yeah.
This is going to be all the worst things that you sent us.
Yeah. And by the way, the mailbag is still open. Write into Hodgman@MaximumFun.org. That's my email address through Maximum Fun, and suggest some dark munchies, some extra dank McCoy type stuff. Now, I don't know if this qualifies as a dark munchie, but it certainly caught my eye and perked my interest. I just found David Bowie, very funny, just found a review of the Dr. Pepper sausages where they poached them in Dr. Pepper to cook them. Sausages poached in Dr. Pep.
We'd have to do a microwave poaching, I think.
Yeah. So don't send in your dark munchies into the chat right now. Get them to me via email. You know how to reach me, Hodgman@MaximumFun.org. And before we go, and any last messages you want to send to people over the weekend regarding the Max Fun Drive or whatever else?
I would really encourage folks who are out there who are already members. If you're a member, you're not in a position to boost your membership or give a gift membership or anything. It means the world to us when you go on your social media or even in real life and express what Judge John Hodgman or what Maximum Fun shows mean to you. If you share with your friends, your family, the folks you know who listen to the shows who might not be members, the folks you know who might enjoy the shows but don't listen, that means the world to us. Like, we do not have an advertising budget. We do not have certainly not overall, much less for the Max Fun Drive. So it means a lot to us when you get out there and say, this is something that I appreciate. This is why I appreciate it. And you do that publicly. So thank you to everybody who's already done that. But I would encourage you, if you're feeling like, and that also goes for if you're unemployed or a student and you don't have the money to become a member, supporting the show publicly, talking about why you like it and that you like it is similarly impactful. We're very grateful.
Speaking of same, here is the listener member that we heard from earlier, Amy. Jesse, as a trans person, I have really appreciated your pro-trans and educational videos on YouTube. Thanks for doing what you can to help raise awareness, understanding, and respect for minorities. And
before we go, can I text you guys a picture to put onto the stream?
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, I just texted it to both of you. One of you guys can hopefully share.
Jennifer,
it
would you mind doing
No,
that?
not at all.
Thank you.
Waiting for it to come in.
I mean, this is what being a member of the Max Fun community is all about. We care for each other. We learn from each other. In particular, Amy, I've said it before, and I hope that I make it clear. Like, my understanding of the trans community in particular, and trans people, has been so expanded by my interactions, obviously, with Jesse and all of our wonderful listeners who are trans, and all of our wonderful listeners who also experience a way of life that a guy who looks like me may not have experienced before. And this message, I'm sure, is very meaningful to Jesse on his birthday, and is very meaningful to me on my non-birthday. I feel very, very proud to be part of this community of awareness and understanding and forgiveness and encouragement and appreciating that everyone is a whole human being in their own right. It's been a true learning and expansive. If you started listening to Judge John Hodgman at the beginning and you listen now, you will very much understand how much I've personally grown. And my wife, who is a whole human being in her own right, has said the same to me. I'm a better person for having done the show. And I feel so proud to have been able to not only share with you, but also grow with all of you. So thanks for letting me do it. And what really lets me do it and us do it, of course, is your membership. So there you go with that. And then I'm just going to add this one other thing before we share Jesse's photo. I've already got, even though I asked you to email me, Jennifer Marmer, please make a note of this comment from Court Jester. I don't know who Adal. Do you know who Adal Rifi is?
Yeah, that's our pal from Hey Riddle Riddle, right?
I mean, I don't recognize the name. So yes, that's our very close friend. But Adal Rifi often mentions foie gras and thin mints as a thing he genuinely enjoys. Automatic top of the list for dark munchies. I'm not going to mess with the foie gras, but I'll put some liverwurst on a thin mint for you, and I'll eat that. If we get 1,000 new upgrading and boosting members.
It is.
Right.
That's the Hey Riddle Riddle guy. One of the nicest guys. What a great guy.
One of the nicest guys. Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. I know. Oh yeah. I know. I apologize. Yes, I do know this person. I'm just looking. I'm getting a lot of stimulus here. I'm about ready to shut it down for the weekend and do nothing for a little bit, and then we'll come back.
Shout out to this person's avatar. That's a worm from the video game Worms, by the way.
I can't find it, so I trust.
There was a period in college where all me and Jordan and our friend Jim Rayal, the master of Would You Rather, did with our entire lives was play Worms against each other over the dorm room computer network. And we'd have all our doors open. We'd just be yelling at each other across the door and like, "Got you, fucker." Okay, Jen, are you ready?
Played Worms in college. All right, yeah.
Are you ready to show this picture? This is in response to Amy's comment.
Yeah.
This picture is, on the left is my mom in the blue. Yes. On the right is my mother-in-law, Beth, on the blue, in the gray. And the two of them today went together to the state board hearing for interscholastic sports policy. To testify on behalf of transgender kids being allowed to play sports in the state of California. It was a big thing. Beth told me that there was 50 commissioners there, and they were all people in suit and ties. And she thought she was just going to be holding a sign outside. And they were like, "Would you be willing to speak?" And she said, "Yes." So thanks. And they went together as buds. So thanks, Mom. Thanks to Beth. You guys are total heroes for fighting for our kids. We love you so much. And what a great birthday present to me.
I agree. Happy birthday, Jesse. We love you. Happy birthday, everyone who shares this birthday. Happy anniversary, Paul and Janie. Happy Max Fun Drive. End of the first week.
Yeah.
We'll go. Everyone deserves a rest in this life. I hope that you all get to enjoy a weekend where you get a little rest. Even if you work on the weekend, I hope you take care of yourself. We will be back on Monday, re-energized, ready and raring to eat some peanut butter and spicy tuna sandwiches right here on this live stream at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And as we go, let's watch.
My
Clint do his
weird
little thing again.
thing, I just started doing this.
I just want to get to the end, Clint.
This is a sandwich.
How do I fast
bread.
forward? Oh, never
Butter.
mind. We know. We know. We'll do it ourselves. Ready? Here we go. See you next time. Good fun. MaximumFun.org/join. Bye.